بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم إلى يوم الدين. We were going through the invalidators of fast. Besides, we said there's 9 or 10 invalidators of fast, depends on how you count them. We went through fasting and eating and drinking, vomiting. One of the other things that causes a person's fast to be void is that if a person remains in the state of janabat, that means they don't take a ghusl intentionally until the time of Fajr, they're fasting, it becomes void. So remaining in the state of janabat. And if a person is in the state of janabat and goes to sleep intentionally, knowing that they will not wake up, their fast will be void and they'll have to do kafara, pay kafara, and they have qada also. So this is something that somebody has to make sure that when you enter fasting, you are tahir and pure. This is one of the conditions of fasting. Please recite al-salawat so we can learn our ahkam and act upon it. During the end of time, akhir al-zaman, it is said that this is when Satan, shaitan, which is a true enemy of ours, he begins to deceive more and more. He begins to misguide mankind because he is an enemy to us. Shaitan does exist. He is an enemy. He has sworn that he will deceive us. And as time progresses, shaitan progresses too. And the ways that he learns to trick us becomes more complicated, more complex. He is in a rush because he knows that when the 12th Imam, Imam Mahdi, will reappear, shaitan will be finished. So he's doing whatever he can to delay the reappearance of the Mahdi. Ajjalallahu ta'ala faraj. He wants to make sure that the followers of the Ahlul Bayt, the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, will remain misguided. So to delay the reappearance of the Mahdi. Because if society is prepared and all the conditions are met, Imam Mahdi will reappear. And shaitan knows this. So what does he do? One of the things that the narrations say, that shaitan, he focuses on the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt to make sure they're misguided. Because if the 12th Imam reappears, shaitan will be destroyed. In a narration from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, it says that to Abdullah ibn Jundab, one of his companions, he says, Ya Abdullah, لقد نسب إبليس حبائله في دار الغرور كما يقصد فيها فما يقصد فيها إلا أولياءنا. He has placed his ropes, his traps, so that he can deceive people. And who is shaitan trying to deceive in this narration? Awliya'ana, our friends, the muhibbeen of the Ahlul Bayt. So brothers and sisters, you as Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, as lovers of the Prophet of Islam, we have to be very careful of shaitan because he has set his traps, especially for us. Because if we become good and the conditions are met for the 12th Imam to reappear, shaitan will be finished. One of the ways that shaitan has been attacking us and has been trying to destroy us is that shaitan is smart. He doesn't necessarily think about right now, he thinks of the future. And he wants to make sure that the next generation that comes will not help make the conditions fulfilled for the reappearance of the Mahdi. He works on the next generation. He works to destroy the family. He makes husband hate wife, or he not necessarily makes them, because at the end, when you go through these narrations and the verses, Shaitan deceives us, but the final choice is up to us. It's our nafs. That's why in the month of Ramadan they say Shaitan is tied up, but our nafs isn't tied up, our desires aren't tied up, right? So anyways, he deceives us, he encourages us. At the end, we are the ones that make that decision. But he encourages fitna. He wants the husband to hate the wife to hate the husband. He takes the kid out, makes him in a way that he's not trained, he's not raised by Islamic standards. He's raised outside by the TV, by video games, right? By the media. So this is what Shaitan is doing. This is one of his biggest goals, is to destroy the family, right? So this is what we're going to talk about tonight, is that Shaitan has a plan for us, and we need to be aware. The Prophet once, Prophet of Islam, in a narration, talked about the parents or the fathers of the end of time, and how he says, Wailun li'awlad akhir az-zaman min abaihim. Woe upon the children of the end of time, especially from their fathers. And the companions ask, were these the fathers that were mushrik? Were they polytheists? The Prophet of Islam in this narration answers that no, they're from the mu'mineen. Min abaihim al-mu'mineen. La yu'allimunahum shay'an min al-fara'id. These fathers, they're not aware, as if they're not aware of the plan of Shaitan. They're not aware of teaching their kids. They just care about themselves, their own salat, their own psalm, their fasting. But when it comes to teaching their kids about Islam, their obligations towards Allah, they don't teach them anything, it says. وَإِذَا تَعَلَّمُوا أَوْلَادَهُمْ مَنَعُهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُمْ بِأَرْضَ يَسِيرٍ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا فَأَنَّا مِنْهُمْ بَرِيءٍ وَهُمْ مِنَّا بُرَاءٍ. When the children come to learn something, they come to the centers, they come to the masjid. Those fathers say, no, you don't need to go, you don't need to go. They take them away from they don't teach them anything. And when their kids want to learn, these fathers of the Akhir Zaman, they take their kids away. The Prophet says they care about the comfort of their kid. If their kid coughs, they'll take him to the doctor, right? They say, what's wrong with him? But when it comes to spirituality, they don't care. They're careless. The Prophet says, I have nothing to do with them, and they have nothing to do with me. Bad parents. Parents that are allowing Shaitan to come in to their family. So this is what we're going to speak about tonight, is this threat that we have. And we see it's not only in the West, it's in the Muslim countries, everywhere. The next generation. What's happening? Some are becoming very pious, some are becoming very misguided. So we begin tonight's discussion, which is about the family and how we can prepare to have a strong family that we can defend against Shaitan. Well, one of the first things when somebody wants to establish a family is their intention. Why do you want to establish a family? Why do you want to get married? Why do you want to have kids? Some people, they want to have kids for the same reason, na'udhu billah, somebody wants to have a pet. They want to have a nice little person to hug and pet and feed and, right, and take care of. Is that a true intention? Is that a genuine intention? Because there's different levels of intention. Compare this intention to somebody that says, I want to have a family, I want to have a kid that will be a soldier of the 12th Imam. I couldn't become a companion of the 12th Imam. Let my kid become a companion. You see the difference in intentions? Somebody might just marry because they say, I have desires. I love this person. I have desires. I just need to fulfill my desires. Compare that person to a person that says, I want to get married so I can become complete, so I can reach Allah, right? So I can establish this family. So the first thing is, especially those that aren't married yet, now that we're married, it's too late. I'm kidding. It's not too late. But those that aren't married, why do you want to have a wife? Why do you want to have a family? Have a final goal, a final purpose. And as I said, intentions are multiple in Islam. It's not just a good intention or bad intention. There's multiple levels of intention. One of the best intentions is the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt is to help their Imam. Their child will become a servant of the 12th Imam. Remember that story I told about Ayatollah Ma'ashi Najafi? His father did dua. He says, Inshallah, you become a servant of the Ahlul Bayt. And he became a servant of the Ahlul Bayt. He would sign his name, Shahabuddin, Sayyid Shahabuddin, Ma'ashi Najafi, servant of the Ahlul Bayt, when he became a marja. So this is an intention that we have to have, inshallah. And it's not too late. Now that if we didn't have this intention at the beginning, it's still not too late. We can change it. Because times are very, very important now. The second thing that I would like to say is that you ask Allah for help, because it's very difficult to raise a good kid. It's very difficult to have a very pious and a nurani or a very family house that's full of light. Imam Sajjad in Sahif al-Sajjadiyya does dua. He says, وَإِنِّي عَلَىٰ تَرْبِيَتِهِمْ وَتَأْدِيبِهِمْ وَبَرِّهِمْ. Help me, Allah. Help me in raising them. Help me in educating them. Help me in making them good people. So you make your intention, just like salat, when we make our intention, then you ask for help. Because without the help of Allah, nothing will be done. Without the permission of Allah, nothing will be accomplished. So this is the first step, is even now that we have a family or we're preparing to have a family, to do qurbatan ilallah, for Allah. Second, we talk about those that aren't married, youth spouse selection. I don't want to take too much time on this. There are very good books right now online you can read about youth and spouse selection. What is the criteria to have for a suitable wife? What is the criteria for a good husband? They should be pious. They should come from a good family. They should be moral. There should be compatibility. They should be compatible with each other. They should get along. Anyways, there's these criteria I have you refer to. There's a good book, Youth and Spouse Selection. You can see the different criteria before you get married. Because one of the problems we have is if you don't have a plan, shaitan will make a plan for you. If you don't know what you want, and you don't get help from Allah, shaitan will come in here. Instead of marrying somebody maybe from this mother, you would have a child that is a servant of the Ahlul Bayt, you end up marrying somebody that shaitan wants you to marry, right? So to have a plan. A lot of times, brothers and sisters, young people, they end up marrying people, not that they think logically and they plan and prepare. They marry somebody because they're either attached to them, they're attached and they think this is love and they're just used to them. Or sometimes it's because of their emotions. They like them and they can't think clearly. And we tell these people all the time, consult, elder people and your family members. They can help you think straight. So have criteria, see if they fulfill this criteria, then marry them. Choose your wife or choose your husband with your mind, not with your heart. You will like them. It's important to like somebody and to get along. But believe me, when you do the nikah, inshallah, and the nikah is mentioned and recited, that love will come. That love that Allah has said in the Quran will come between Zawj and Zawja. But think of the criteria and think of your intentions. Why am I doing this? What is the purpose? Then when you find out, then you ask help from Allah. So that's about youth selection. And just so those people know that if they choose a wife that is not in the criteria, or they choose a husband that doesn't fulfill the requirements that Deen tells us, the Quran tells us, the narrations tell us, they have taken away one of the rights of their kids, as it says in the narrations. One of the rights of a kid, وَيَجَبُ لِلْوَلَدِ عَلَى وَالِدِهِ ثَلَاث خِصَالٍ. There's 3 things that are required, that are conditions. اختياره لوالدته, to choose a good mother, to choose a mother. One of the conditions and huquq that a child has is that you choose a good mother, because a mother's influence will be much greater than the father. I remember our teacher, Ayatollah Mujtahidi, he would say, and he would address the students that came and they left their lives, they left their material lives, they left their goals of the dunya to become a student. He would say, most of you are here because of your mothers. Your mothers are better than your fathers, he would say. Sometimes this would cause fights in homes because the mother would say, I told you I'm better than you, to their dad, right? But he would say, your mothers are better than your fathers. That's why you came here. Your mothers were good. Sometimes you see big ulama, but sometimes the mother who has a very influential role in the training and upbringing of a child, they will not have a religious kid. A lot of it is due to the mother. Father and mother, but a lot of it is due to the mother. Another thing I would like to mention is that sometimes all the conditions are met. A person can be a prophet, a person can be an imam and ma'asum, infallible imam, and they'll have a bad kid. This is because that kid has a choice, right? You can't force them to be good, but you can give them the conditions that they need to grow and therefore won't be responsible. It's important not to be responsible if they go bad. If they go bad, then you don't have taklif, you don't have obligation. You did as much as you could. But if you didn't give them the proper environment to grow, the chance, they needed the same chance as somebody else needed, then yes, we will be in trouble. Another thing that I would like to mention is that marriage has a time for it. Timing is important. It's not that sometimes brothers will wait too long or sisters will wait too long. They want a perfect person. Say, I want to have the soldier of Imam Mahdi. I want to have this child. They're not going to help me. No. Look at all the conditions and weigh them. Get an overall average of everything. And if they're good, get married. Right? You're not going to find anybody perfect. Everybody has faults. Right? But it's important those things that you're looking for, they have an average or good ranking, in those things that you're thinking about. You won't find anybody perfect. In the end of time, it says, you won't find a perfect friend. So if you become too daqiq, or you examine them too much, accurate, then you'll be left without a friend, right? Also, if you're going to be really strict on the conditions of your spouse, you'll be left without a spouse. So to meet them, if they're average or good, as long as they're living, their heart is pumping, it's working, right? Then you get married. So those are two things that I would like to mention about before we talk about the family structure. There's a time for it. I remember one of our important ulama in Iran, he's on TV in Iran, Hujjatul Islam Qara'ati. He says that the youth have two problems. One is ghiflat, they neglect, they forget Allah. One is they have lust, they have shahwat. He says you can remedy ghiflat with salat. Make them pay attention in prayer. Practice paying attention and remembering Allah in prayer. Then the ghiflat will be solved. The shahwat you can solve with marriage. So these are very important things that the timing is absolutely essential. If it becomes too late, then this is a way that shaitan will come into the lives of the young people. And I don't want to get into this, but shaitan will come. After marriage, a person becomes married. And sometimes they might not marry the appropriate person. They wish I married somebody more religious. They complain, oh, they're not how I thought they were. We tell them that now that you're married and you have already promised them, you can't back away from your promise, your word. You should yourself become spiritual. What do you have to do with your wife? What does your wife have to do with you? If you want to do Salatul Layl, pray it. What does it have to do with her? They say, oh, I wish I had a wife that wake me up for Salatul Layl. Just wake up yourself. She's not tying your hands down, right? Or he's not tying your hands down. Now that you're married, you don't have to keep giving excuses. Many times we give ourselves excuses. Oh, it's up to us. You can be very, very pious and have a okay wife, right? It's already too late, So what you have to do is work on yourself, focus on yourself. And the best thing for when we're, inshallah, setting up a family, and it is to be good ourselves. If a father or mother is not good, their children are not going to follow them. A lot of times we wish we were a certain person, and those aspirations that we have, we wished it for our kids, and we wish our kids have become this great person, but we didn't work on ourselves, because if you don't work on yourself and you don't become a great person, it'll be difficult for your kid to follow. When you become good, your child will become good. A lot of times, what you see in some of the narrations is that we don't take our religion seriously, so our kids take it as a joke. If we don't take our hijab that seriously, sometimes, our sleeves show, or sometimes we have makeup that's not allowed, and our child looks at that and says, oh, hijab isn't that important, is it? It seems kind of like a joke. If the father doesn't take, for example, his duties, that's wajib, and him paying khums, him praying all the time. If a person prays all the time, awwal waqt, and then tells his child to pray, they will listen, compared to somebody that doesn't pray, is late, and says, hey, you should pray too. Islam is about reaching something yourself and then bringing them to where you're at. Either if you're a parent or your teacher, you should reach something yourself and then say, come. Not be at a certain position and say, go and become good. That doesn't work. You should say, come, grab their hand. And this is the best way. And this is one of the reasons why we see in some religious families that kids lose their religion, is because the parents aren't complete. They just see the superficial things of Islam. They see salat, fasting, hijab, right? But they don't see the benefits of fasting. They don't see the benefits of prayer, right? They see a fruitless prayer. They don't see a person that has been talking with Allah. If a child sees that, truly somebody speaking to Allah, they will be encouraged to salat. Not just saying, I have to just do ruku and sujood, I have to pray. So a lot of times it goes back to the parents. If the parents aren't serious, if the parents don't practice Islam in the way that you see the fruits of Islam, you see the spirituality that affect that a person that has truly fasted, truly prayed, that will become like a magnet and pull their kids in. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says in one of the narrations, says that one of the problems that there has always been jahl in the world, there has always been ignorance, it's because لِاتِّخَاذِهِمْ دِينَ اللَّهِ لَعِبًا. They have taken the religion of Allah as a joke. Not being serious, not being complete with religion, focusing on some aspects of just worship, but not focusing on our social obligations. And remember, I said this throughout these series of lectures, that it's like a cartoon face. Our nose might be too big, too much salat. Our ears might be too big, too much saum, but we're not helping anybody. Therefore, our chin will be really small. We have to be even. We have to be balanced. And if a kid doesn't see that, the kid sees an oddly balanced person, a cartoon figure, he won't be attracted to Islam. So a lot of it has to do with the parents. If the parents are complete, if the parents truly pray and fast, their kids will follow. You don't even need to tell them to pray. They will love to pray because they see your tears. When you wake and you speak to Allah in a way that, say, Ayatollah Bahjat says, if the kings knew how great ibadat is and how sweet it is, they would give up their kingdom and start praying and worshiping Allah. That's sweetness. And I say this to myself. I'm not saying that I pray and fast like this. No, this goes to myself too. One of the teachers that was in Tehran and he passed away, I believe, he had a huge effect on people. And then what I'm trying to say is this. Not only when you practice Islam properly, your kids will be more inclined to learn, but also you have this spiritual weight that you could pull people in. You pull the angels in, they come around you, have angels around you, you separate the shayateen from you. One of the people that was probably a mujtahid, he was a scholar or close to being a scholar, he had that ability. He had that ability that he could pull people in because he practiced Islam properly. Once he gave lectures in a series of lectures for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And after he got lectures, he got an envelope full of money. So he went with his money, this envelope that he had, and he walked in the streets of Tehran. He saw a lady in the corner, not dressed appropriately. He told somebody that was with him, he said to tell her to come here. He said, no, Hajj Agha, that's bad. Everybody's going to think bad of you. What are you talking? He said, tell her to come. So he comes to her, he talks to her. He's Sayyid, he has the libas. He's talking to her. He says that Imam Hussein has given you a gift. He takes the money that he got, and imagine talking for 10 days, or it might have been a good sum of money for lecturing. He says, Imam Hussein has given you a gift. As long as this envelope has money in it, I don't want you to do what you're doing. As long as this will give you the money that you need, don't do what you're doing. He leaves. Many years later, he's in Atabat Aliyat, I believe it's Karbala, or Najaf. He sees this, somebody comes and says, this lady needs to talk to you. So Sayyid Aqwam is the name of this scholar. This lady needs to talk to you. She comes, and basically she has a niqab. She lifts it in a way that she says, do you remember me? She lifts it in a way, says, I'm that same person that you gave that money to. Now, after that, right when you left, I said that Imam Hussein, why does he want me? I'm filthy, I'm trash. Why does Imam Hussein want me? I don't have anything to do with him. Why does Imam Hussein want me? So after you left, for 10 minutes, I just started crying that Imam Hussein wants me. And then after that, I asked Allah for help, and He gave me marriage. He gave me a husband. I got married. And after that, now I'm visiting Imam Hussein. I'm visiting Iraq. So the effect, if a person practices Islam properly, even a person that is a very big sinner, he will have that magnet and could attract them in. Regardless if they're a teacher, if they're an alim, if they're a parent, they'll have that attraction. If we don't act according to Islam properly, we'll be fruitless. We'll be without any effect. It'll just be dhahir, apparent. One of the things that also, so the first thing we mentioned was being good yourself. Being good yourself will encourage your students, your kids, to become good. Right? And the stronger you are, the closer you are with Allah, they'll see that. They'll see that you took Allah's religion seriously. The second thing is the environment that we have. If parents are always fighting, if parents are always yelling at each other, that child is not going to have a peaceful environment to grow. It's something very obvious. As the Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة. I have placed between you mawadda and rahmah. I have placed it. What's mawadda? Love. What's rahmah? Mercy. I have placed love and mercy between you. When that nikah is read, that mawadda and rahmah will come. There's a difference. Some say, why does the Quran say here mawadda and rahmah? Some say maybe this is the difference, that love is different than mercy. They say that the beginning of marriage is with love. Love attracts them, right? When they get married, love attracts them, keeps them together. Then rahmah is when they become old and they have to help each other. One has to be merciful to the other. They're old, they need help, right? Others say that it's between love, mawadda is between the parents. There's love between the parents, but this rahmah is between the kids. They have mercy towards the kids. This love and this affection that they have is mawadda, and the rahmah is kids. So anyways, this love, this environment that there's love has been focused a lot in Islam. There's a narration I'm going to read. It says that sometimes you see, brothers and sisters, it's very easy to lose your temper at home because you're with somebody for so many hours. You're used to them, right? It's very easy to lose your temper. In this narration, it says, "Man ihtamala min imra'atihi walau kalimatan wahida." If a person holds one word, they're going to say one word to them, and it's going to be a bad word. اعتقى الله رغبته من النار وأوجب له الجنة. He will free him from the hellfire. These nights and the nights of Ramadan, we're doing Al-Ghawth, Al-Ghawth, Khalisna min an-nari ya Rab 100 times in Dua Joshan Kabir. Well, one of the ways to be freed from the hellfire is controlling your tongue to your wives. You will control, you will go to heaven, you will be away from the hellfire. And according to this narration, you'll be given mi'atay alf darajatan. You'll be given 200,000 levels just from controlling. And the opposite, if you hurt somebody with your tongue, right? As if you destroyed the Kaaba, as if you had killed angels. Look at the narrations. Just something very simple. Remember I said last night or the night before that the difference between some of our arifs and alims and us is that they kept whatever they did. The biggest difference, whatever they did, they went to Hajj, they did good deeds, they did salat, saum, fast. They kept it because they had taqwa of the mouth. They didn't say anything. It's very easy. Some that see this, they'll see how deadly it is. One of the arifs, Rajab Ali Khayyat, which lived in Tehran, he could see things. He had many karamats. Say once he saw a husband and wife there, and they went to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam. During the ziyarat, the wife stung the husband in a way that she said something bad to him. He heard. Then what he saw, he said, basically, you had completely ruined your ziyarah. You just ruined it with one sentence. Sometimes we'll pay money to travel, risk our lives to do ziyarat. One sentence will ruin it. Right? So these are very dangerous things, and this is an environment that we want to have between love and an environment of affection. This will cause the kid to love his dad, love his mom. Or the opposite. قول الرجل لامرأته إني أحبك لا يذهب من قلبك أبدا. If a husband tells his wife, I love you, it will never be taken away from her heart. So the opposite we see in narrations. Not only control yourself, but tell them, show your affection. Or the narrations about kissing children. There's a narration, I remember that a person kissed one of his kids, but didn't kiss the other kid. And the infallible told them to kiss the other kid. Be just. Don't just kiss one and don't kiss the other. Sometimes we have favorites amongst kids, and this causes them to be misled because they don't feel that love and affection. If they ask you, which kid do you like the most? I like all of them. Our teacher, Ayatul Mushtay, said his dad said that he had a kid that was helping him in the bazaar, and he had a kid that was a Ayatollah that became an alim. He said, this kid is good for my dunya, and this kid is good for my akhirah. He would divide it, somehow being fair. قبلة الولد رحمة. The kissing of a child, if a father kisses his child, it's mercy. Islam says it's mercy. وقبلة المرأة شهوة. And kissing a woman is desire. وقبلة الوالدين عبادة. And kissing the parents is worship. So you have mercy, you have shahwat, and then you have worship. And then وَقُبْلَةُ الرَّجُلِ أَخَاهُ دِينٌ. If a brother kisses his brother in Islam, that's deen, that's religion. One of the stories that I'd like to share with you is, and I might have said this maybe 2 years ago, to give us how some of our ulama, they had this incredible amount of patience. Not only did they study very hard, not only did they worship very hard, but they're very good husbands. Is the story of Ayatollah Sayyid Ahmad Khansari. He was a mujtahid that when the people of Tehran came to Ayatollah Burujerdi, he told, give us a mujtahid, give us a scholar. He sent them Ayatollah Sayyid Ahmad Khansari. He was a remarkable human. One of my own teachers went to visit him. He himself told me. He says, on the way, I went to visit him. And some even believed he was the a'lam of the time. He was the most knowledgeable of the time. He went to visit him. He said, on the way, I lost money, say 20 tomans or something at that time. I went to visit him from Qom. I went to Tehran. I lost money. I approached him, talked to him. After, he said, this is your 20 toman. Miraculously, he knew that he lost that money. So he was a big alim. He had a wife, this marja taqlid had a wife that was very, very harsh on him. He would teach Bahsul Kharij, one of the most advanced classes, and then the wife would stand and say, my husband is a munafiq, he's a hypocrite, don't attend his classes. Or she would get water and put it on his head. He's a marja taqlid, splash water on his head in front of everybody. So everybody would say, divorce her, let her go, who is she? She's ruining your reputation. And he was known not to talk much. They would talk with him for 30 minutes, he would say at the end, bane, like just one little word. And then they asked, why don't you divorce her? He said that if I divorce her, where is she going to go? Where is she going to go? He felt bad for her. He had a big heart. And believe me, those that because of religion keep somebody, as I said, they keep their tongues, they save somebody. They know if this person leaves them, they're going to be destroyed. Shaitan's going to get them. And for Allah, they keep them. Or a wife keeps their husband. They will be rewarded. Sometimes you see brothers and sisters, they divorce. I haven't seen myself personally, those that have separated, inshallah, nobody gets separated. I haven't seen khair afterwards. Many times if somebody breaks the heart of somebody, sometimes they're forced to. I'm not talking about situations where it's actually good. Sometimes because it's not haram. But sometimes most of the time somebody can save it. If somebody has more patience, has more endurance, they can save it. Sometimes you see if they let that person go, they won't see good in the dunya anymore. If they marry somebody else, it will become worse, right? So this is something very dangerous for us to know. This is how shaitan attacks us. Inshallah, we'll talk about these if there's qismat, we'll talk about these later on. So basically, to review, we talked about how shaitan is attacking us, and the way we can defend the next generation is by having a good family, a solid family. And we said the best ways to do this is this spouse selection, having the correct criteria, having the correct intentions. He said about becoming good ourselves, becoming good role models. If we are good, then our kids, inshallah, will become good. If we're not good, then we'll see them, and in some ways, they won't take religion seriously. Ask the brothers if they can dim the lights. When we want to become good, it's very difficult. There's a salik, a person that travels towards Allah. Then there's a majdhub, somebody that's attracted and gets pulled in towards Allah. That's how Tawheed works, most of it. One of the best ways to go towards Allah, the best ways is remembering the Prophet and the Ahlul Bayt. Whatever you want from the majalis of Imam Hussein, you'll notice miracles will happen. When you mention Imam Hussein, the doors of the mercy, it is the mercy of Allah, it's being channeled through Imam Hussein. Tawassul is a taqwiyat, it's strengthening our du'as. You can do du'a without tawassul, you can do du'a straight. But if you want to do a strong du'a, you do it with tawassul. It's taqwiyat, it makes it strong. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, brothers and sisters, as many of you know, we're talking about the family, the father, the son, the child, the wife. He had a daughter that was 3 or 4 years old, Sayyid al-Ruqayya. She has different names in different books of history, but Sayyid al-Ruqayya is what she's known for. Some say that what I've heard is that she had a mother, Ruqayya, the 3-4-year-old daughter of Imam Hussein, that when she was born, her mother passed away, Ishaq. She never had the opportunity to meet her mother. So Imam Hussein was a father for her and was a mother for her. She was attached to Imam Hussein. And you know what happened to Sayyid Ruqayya, Salamullah alayha. If you want Imam Hussein to give you inayat, you want him to look at you, pay attention to you, one of the ways is Sayyid Ruqayya. And if he looks at you, all your problems will be solved. Everything that you want, inshallah, immediately you'll get. She was taken from after Karbala happened from Kufa to Syria to Damascus. Not only was she starved, not only was she beaten, but she had the musibat of witnessing her father being killed in front of her. She had to witness the head of Imam Hussein being on spears, on lances, while she was taken as a captive. And in Sham, in Syria, the dungeons of Sham, she couldn't take it. She was crying for her father. She was 3 or 4 years old. She was attached to Imam Hussein. And as the narration says, they brought her the head of Imam Hussein, this 3 or 4-year-old child. Ma hadha ras. قالوا لها رأس أبيك. This is the head of your father. So she took the head of her father, the holy head of Imam Hussein, the head that in Sunni, our brother Sunni narration said would read the Quran, would read Surah Al-Kahf. She took this head gently and placed it, hugged it, squeezed it, and would say, Ya Abba, my father, Man dha alladhi khaddabaka bidima'ik. Who has covered you with blood? Ya Abata, man dha alladhi qata'a waridak. Who has severed your arteries? Ya Abata, man alladhi aytamani ala sighara sinni. Who has made me an orphan at such a young age? Who will we have hope to after you? She depended on her father. Her father was a mother and father for her. And then it says that she placed her lips on the holy lips of Imam Hussein. وضعت فمها على فمه الشريف وبكت بكاء شديدا. She began to cry severely until she passed away and fainted. And she stopped moving. This 3-year-old, 4-year-old daughter of Imam Hussein. Then فإذا بها قد فارقت روحها الدنيا. Then her spirit left her body, and forever left in Sham is the sign, and the sign of the oppression of Imam Hussein has been left in the dungeons of Sham and in Damascus. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Ya Allah, we ask you, because of the honor of the 3-year-old daughter of Imam Hussein, strengthen our family, inshallah. Make the youth, those that want to choose somebody, give them the best selection. Give them a salih person, inshallah. A genuine and a good person from a good family, inshallah. Ya Allah, we ask you, those that are sick, those that need help in the Muslim world, in the world altogether, because of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, help them, and those that are sick, give them a speedy recovery, inshallah. Ya Allah, those that have helped in this majlis tonight, those that have provided the food, those that have provided the food the nights before and will provide the food, Ya Allah, inshallah, give them barakat and forgive their sins and forgive their parents' sins, inshallah. Make and accept our fast because of the honor of the 12th Imam, inshallah. Because his fast is complete and our fast is incomplete. His salat is complete and our salat is not complete. Because of his honor, accept our prayers and fasts, inshallah. Those that are of our family members, your parents, grandparents, grand-grandparents, may Allah tonight, inshallah, forgive them. As it says, the end of the month of Ramadan is the time of freedom. Ya Allah, free us from the hellfire. Ya Allah, guide us towards the right path and keep us guided. When we die and Israel comes to get our life, may we give the shahadatain with full iman, inshallah, and the walayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.